Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Keegan, and welcome back to another episode of the Supercoach Diaries, heading into round 4, and with a recap of round 3. Before we do anything, make sure you do like this video, subscribe so you don't miss any of the Supercoach Diaries on this channel. Without any further ado, let's have a look at the team and how they went this past week. So here is what we're looking at. So far, my score for round 3 was actually very, very good. The top 6%. 2,255. I started off in a blaze of glory, and then towards the end of the week it sort of slowed down. I had injuries. Max Gawn, for instance, was a big one. We'll talk about him later. So it didn't end as well as it started, but still with a pretty good score. It's moved my season rank up from about 50,000 to now 32,000, and hopefully keep moving in the right direction up that way. I won 6 of my leagues. I won all of them. I had my best player was Mark Murphy, the 158. Seemed like a pretty good choice of a player to move into my team. And the worst was 27 with Max Gawn going down injured. So overall, a positive side on the actual stats of the team. Let's have a look at the individuals in the team themselves, and let's see who did well and who did not so well. So here is what we're looking at as far as my team goes. So from the back line, Adams again was an absolute monster. Laird was better, and Rance finally came good and had a big game. 121 against West Coast. Held that defensive position down well and helped the Tigers get a win over the Eagles. We've got Otten at 98, who's playing a really good role for Adelaide. He's playing sort of more up forward, a little bit in the ruck, so he's getting a lot of touches around the ground. So his scoring is hopefully going to continue along that line. Hampton was better, and hopefully he can put a few more scores like that together. But Newman was the pick of my defenders in the last round. He is only 123,000, so people will be getting on him this week for the price jump he will have next week. And I had him since he first came in accidentally. You know the story. If you don't know the story, do go back to my other video and check it out. But again, he was a massive performer for me. He scored 105 points, which is great for any rookie, and he really helped kicking off my score in the right fashion from the start of the week. Heading into the midfield, Murphy with 158, absolutely amazing play. Dangerfield is another one that had an amazing week. He was my captain. 138 is a very good score for a captain and a safe bet, so Dangerfield was never in risk, and I'm happy with the way that's going. I have bought Bontempelli in this week. I'm going to talk you through that trade in a minute. Fife, Beams, Treloar, Hanbury finally came back and had a good game. And I actually had Pepper was the scoring midfielder, and Barrett was on the bench. But other than sort of Pepper there, the rest of my midfielders actually had decent games. Again, with Treloar, I'd like to see him score a bit more, but I can't really fault him at 108. Into the ruck position. So, as you can see, Gawn's not there anymore. I have taken him away. I'll explain my position moves in a minute. I've got Nate Curvis here, who is again scoring like an absolute crazy man. He's thrown himself around the contest for Richmond, and he is doing really well. Witts is the player I have bought in for Gawn, and I'm going to explain all that soon. And Cameron is still not getting a game, which is kind of annoying, to be honest. I thought he'd be seeing a bit of game for the Swans at the moment, but he hasn't put his hand up as of yet. Dalhouse was great. Franklin was a bit down, which was a bit disappointing. Elliott was a bit down again. From his past couple of weeks, he was so. Roughhead had a really good game, even though my Suns finally did something good and absolutely teed off on Hawthorn. Hawthorn struggled, but Roughhead still got a pretty decent score. Butler was good. Parfitt was actually in my midfield, on my midfield bench, so I didn't get that score of 99, but he was really good. Ryder, as you can see, is on the bench because he's suspended for 1 week, and in my opinion, he's lucky just to get 1 week, and I'm very happy that he's only going to get 1 week. So I'm only going to miss him for a week, so I don't have to make that trade straight away. And Eddie was the other player who scored an average score. Bench, Stewart, Powell, Pepper, Pickett, no one out there scored extraordinarily well except Parfitt, who I'm putting on the field for this week. Looking into the trades I did this week, I did one trade. I did 2 trades basically to make a few swaps around. So I have brought Witts in. He's been so good for Gold Coast, and he's put his foot down as the number 1 ruckman at Gold Coast. So I've decided to bring him in. I had him at the start of the season. I should have started with him. So I haven't made as much money off him as I would have liked, but I need someone to replace Gawn. So Witts is coming in, and I think if Witts can sit there till the bye. I think he'll be a really good purchase. So Witts is going to be there. And I traded Gawn for Witts. And then the other trade I made is O'Meara, who had an absolute shocker for Hawthorn. And while he's only one bad game, and his other 2 games were okay, it's burnt me enough. And I wanted to get Bontempelli into the team. So with that money I made from going from Gawn to Witts, I've turned Jaeger O'Meara into Bontempelli, because regardless of how Bont plays, he usually, even if he has a good game but not a great game, he still seems to score ridiculously well with champion data. So I put Bontempelli in. If you can't beat him, join him. So Bontempelli's in. That midfield of mine is looking really, really tight. I really love the way it is set out. I've only got one more premium I probably need in the midfield, and then I can probably upgrade Beams at some point. But at the moment, that midfield is looking absolutely awesome. So because of Ryder going out because he's being suspended, I've had to switch a few positions around. I've had to move someone. I had to move Parfitt down into the forward line to put Pickett back into the midfield. So Parfitt's going to start on the field for me this week for Geelong. Hopefully he has another 99 game. That would be really, really impressive. He's next to Butler, Rufford and Hoskinelli, who are very, very mid-priced forward line. But I reckon that won't bother me too much. And so this is what my team I'm probably looking at going into this round. I'm probably going to have Murphy as vice-captain. I'm going to try and captain Loophole in Murphy if I'm possible. I haven't really looked at the possibilities yet as far as loopholing goes. But I reckon if I loophole Murphy, I have Dangerfield up front. That should be good enough. Hopefully, if I can find a 0 in there somewhere, we'll have to have a look around. But if I can do that, I reckon that's what I'll go with. Dangerfield is definitely always going to be my captain. But Murphy could be an option depending on how the Suns decide to crack down on the Blues midfield this upcoming week. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed me sort of rambling on about this team. I'm actually really happy with the way this team is going. Do let me know in the comments below if there's any changes you think I should make before the West Coast Sydney game, before that starts on Thursday evening Australian time, Thursday morning UK time. Do let me know if there's any changes you think I should make heading into this weekend. I like the look of this team, and I actually think this team is going to, again, score a really, really good score. Just 2,260 is the projected total. Whether we get to that, who knows? But I would say that's a pretty solid projected total for this team. Make sure you do like this video, subscribe to not miss any of the videos on this channel. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you later.